Yeah, Kinjal, you can go live.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. We are back with yet another virtual tour of Winter Exhibition 2020. This time we have Purvi from the Masters in Urban Design program who's going to give us a walkthrough, who's going to make us understand what the program is about, and also highlight a couple of projects for us. Over to you, Purvi.
Thank you, Kinjal. Good afternoon, everyone. And uh, I am going to just start sharing my screen and explain, take you through the program. Yeah, so Masters of Urban Design program at CEPT is part of Faculty of Planning. And the last semester had the semester three essentially has one studio. There's the first semester, which is doing the foundation parallelly, and the urban design stream is doing the semester three studio. So I'm basically showcasing the work which was done during the semester and take you through the studio process. And then after that, we are going to have three of our students presenting their work, their basically their learning outcomes of the studio. Yeah. So we have the four uh, studios at Masters of Urban Design program, out of which the third semester is basically about the studio is known as Master Plan Studio, and it is focused on making the urban form, creating livable neighborhoods, and the exposure to various development models and policies. The presentation I'm quickly going to take you through in six parts. The studio structure enables the tutor to work closely with the studio director, and this maintains the consistency in the teaching learning goals and outcomes across the three units that we have in the studio. The studio emphasis is on creating relevant urban form for livable neighborhoods that explore the idea of future living through the design of master plan. The studio project is preparation of the master plan for a greenfield development which is occurring as a city's expansion in a peri-urban area. The integrated township policy works as a development model for proposing a master plan for a contiguous land parcel uh, that is acquired for a developer, and the brief is to propose a relevant urban form and design public spaces that is not only livable but also responds to the market needs. The learning goals essentially mean that there's a preparation of urban design master plan, design of public spaces, urban design guidelines for which the urban form is being proposed, the preparation of effective project communication material for all these stakeholders. Now, the entire studio exercises are divided into five modules. The first module requires the student to assimilate site context and carry out case studies of relevant projects. Due to the current situation, the tutor prepared a site orientation for the students at the beginning of the semester, including briefing about the site location, the site with respect to the Ahmedabad development plan, introducing them to the site features and orientation of different kind of development trends that were happening around each site. The virtual tour by the tutor also covered a brief introduction of one such township development that was at the fringe of the city to trigger a discussion about what the township living has to offer to people, the building typologies in such developments, and much more. The students further continued to study the other aspects of the site through secondary sources such as site topography, connectivity of the site, the land and the property prices, and the various job centers around the site to understand the potential end users of the development. This work was done as a group work. The next part of the same module one was to carry out a case study of a similar development, redraw the master plan, and analyze the same. This happened to get various, this helped the students to get various insights on similar projects which inform their design later on. The second module began with scale comparison, not only to the cities better known to urban designers, but also with their own cities to get a better understanding of the scale that they are working on. This was followed by identifying the opportunities and constraints, leading to a vision statement for the project. So, this was followed by deriving design objectives and also working on the spatial strategies for the proposed site, followed by iterations of the master plan, concept master plan, which was majorly hand drawn, and leading up to a conceptual master plan by mid semester. The third module, post the mid sem, began with a fresh discussion about the livability on the township. While changes were being made to the master plan based on the inputs received during the mid-sem review, this also happened simultaneously. The first exercise was to design a poster or a banner publicizing the township, and this helped them think about what assets the township can have that would attract people to live so far away from the city. The students then sketched the character of various districts based on the image carried by the assets that their township would have. The next step was to detail out at least two distinct urban blocks in the township in terms of building use, street types, connectivity, scale of open spaces, height and bulk, density and population, landscape intent, and many more that are seen on the in the graphic, which is here on the screen. This was followed by detailing of a development parcel to delineate building types, internal vehicular and pedestrian movement, program of private and publicly accessible open spaces, parking areas, and common amenities. The public spaces that characterize the proposal were marked as assets, and the next step was to detail out these spaces in terms of activities they can afford, natural edges surrounding them, and the interface with the surrounding build form. The character images of these spaces resonated with the posters that were drawn up at the beginning of the module. The fourth module requires the student to graphically represent the urban design guidelines in order to implement the urban form that was imagined and detailed out in the previous modules. This culminated into the final master plan. There were continuous design discussions around a preparation of the final narrative and the presentation to enable the students to sharpen the very important skill of communicating their design. The final module post the final juries was to prepare a project report for the work done where all the graphics were well annotated and delayered to sort of for the external reviewer to get a comprehensive overview of the design process and the outcomes. The link of the complete reports is provided along with the 10 slides on the portfolio website and also on the current exhibition website, which I'll take you through at the end of this discussion quickly. Throughout the semester, there were inputs from various experts pertaining to various urban development in the country, which helped the students comprehend the issues and challenges that are faced while designing and implementing urban design projects. There were also weekly workshops that conducted by the three tutors and the studio director during the semester that were aligned with the commonly agreed milestone of the studio exercises. The workshops began with a small presentation on the topic, after which there was a small hands-on exercise that students were given to work on for about an hour, after which the concluding discussion was about the outcomes. One such exercise was to understand the relationship between the building mass and the open spaces of the parcel of land, where students were given fixed parameters to come up with quickly with layouts that help them explore how various combination of certain parameters would give them desired outcome. Another exercise was to simply understand the build density that is the site would have given the global FSI of 1.5. The abstract exercises ease the trouble the students would typically face while dealing with a specific outcome during the design of such a large scale development. So this was about the process of the studio. I will now take you through quickly students' reflections on what they learned and the key milestones of the studio process. So over to Anukriti. She is going to take us through the site which is marked as Rancharda. Anukriti, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be proceeding with the site at Rancharda. So, as mentioned, uh, next, ma'am.
Yeah.
As as mentioned, the site is located towards western periphery of Ahmedabad, and a virtual study allowed us to explore the development trends, feasibility, and growth pattern of the surrounding area. Next, building onto which the potential and limitations of development were understood through built-in land use and possibility of site development as growth center, limitations of connectivity to the city and response to ecological features. To look at the larger challenges and design parameters, case study of Ditanba was taken up where the design focused on creating strong commercial core and shared recreational areas. Next, a major learning was development model of walkable neighborhood block, which framed around, next ma'am, which framed around the idea of mixed-use development along main street edge and shared amenities along internal street. Next, the site study and data led to formation of a clear vision for the township, a development which fosters livable neighborhood connected through sustainable mobility network, where livable meant walkable neighborhoods. Uh, Ma'am, this is moving forward. Walkable neighborhoods with diverse activities which enrich the community experience and an empty network loop for safe and environmental conscious mobility. Um, the vision and challenges of the site form the base for the key objectives. Next, to achieve the objectives, special strategies focused on connectivity and mobility. Next, and open space program that focused on responding to ecological features, and zoning and built use allows for the defining activity core of the site. The strategic framework develops into master plan with strong and empty network, a large central green space, and offering various housing typologies and neighborhood block that offer distinct living environment. Next, taking a look at residential neighborhood block, the design explores the idea of 5 minutes neighborhood with vehicular-free streets, shared local amenities and spaces to enrich the community spirit. Next. The internal vehicular-free network is imagined as social corridors, reflecting the potential of streets as community space. Next. The community spaces are designed to offer various local amenities. These are located at edge of the neighborhood blocks, shared community space to foster the chance interactions. Next. The edges of the block reflect the idea of mixed-use development with commercial ground floor use. Next, ma'am. The main street design focuses on integrating an empty network with vehicular lanes with accessible private margins, dedicated walkways and bike lanes, multi-utility zone for street amenities like on-street parking, bike and e-shuttle stands, etc. Next, ma'am. In contrast, next ma'am. In contrast to the residential block, the active zone block offered a different environment, a vibrant and active neighborhood by integrating commercial and recreational activities and residential use with higher density. Next, the neighborhood integrates residential use with commercial edge, seamlessly merging into green recreational spaces. Next, the guidelines for blocks focused on NMT connectivity by regulating access points and internal vehicular movement, active neighborhood by offering activities and diversified uses, and legibility through defined build form and height. The strength of township as commercial and recreation anchor is reflected in its open space program, which offers various commercial and both active and passive recreational opportunities. Next, with the central greenfield,
Sorry.
yeah, with a
Yeah.
central greenfield designed for flexible use to accommodate social and cultural activities. Thus, a township development that fosters safe, walkable neighborhoods and offer vibrant and active lifestyle. Thank you.
Okay. So then we are having Rajiv's reflections now. Rajiv is talking about the site at Naroda. Rajiv, are you there?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, all. Hi, I'm Rajiv. I'll share a bit about my experiences and the key takeaways from doing this semester. It was a very different semester for us this time because of the whole pandemic situation going on, as well as in terms of the scale of the project that we were handling, because most of us, including me, had not worked on such a huge project beforehand. And we started with looking at case studies, and almost every discussions with our tutors were very engaging and involved frequent virtual visits to the entire townships in Ahmedabad, like Godrej Garden City, Adani Shantikram. The tutors patiently explaining how everything is working, of how a building is responding to the overall township as a whole, or how all the buildings in a parcels are kind of responding to another in such a large development. Compared to the other sites, our site was in the eastern part of Ahmedabad, which was in Naroda. Next man. And our understanding of the site involved a lot of going back and forth with the video walkthroughs that the tutors shared, noticing something different every time we watched the video, analyzing the evolution of the area using Google Earth, using maps to understanding the developments around the site, and the DPs to understand the development patterns. Next one. So the studio not only looked at understanding how to design such a project of a large scale and its execution, but also more importantly, understanding or figuring out the relationship between the built environment and the people, which is what I tried further exploring in my project. Next. I also, so which is what I tried exploring, which was using open spaces as a medium to kind of foster human connections. I also looked at infusing community farms into the open spaces. Next, man. How farming and various sports oriented activities can help bring people together. Apart from these, next one, yeah, the studio also included smaller but larger picture things like understanding why there is something like an official township policy of Ahmedabad, what makes people attracted to such developments, what the preferences of the people are. Next one, understanding what the market needs, and these were some of the important questions that we were asked and tackled during every phase of the project. Next one. Overall, I'd say that it was a fun and nerve-wracking studio exercise with all the going back and forth with the design next and negotiations with Excel sheets. And though we missed the direct studio learning experience, the peer learning, it was overall a different learning experience. Next one. And that's it from me. Rashi will be explaining her part the next time. Thank you.
So over to Rashi. Rashi is going to talk about the third site, which is in Telav. Rashi, are you there?
Yes. So I worked on the third site, which is located at the western part of the Ahmedabad city. Next, the site has the area of 335 acres. So we looked into the site in more zoomed in view, like what is there around the site. So there is a highway which is running along the northern part of the site, which gives us more opportunity for putting most of the activity generators towards the northern part of the site. Then there is one canal running along the site. So I worked on a thing that it is a great opportunity for creating a large green open space towards this side of the site. Then there are some water catchment areas and some proposed DP roads around it. So give it gives an opportunity for various putting some activity generators around the water catchment areas and making it connected from all sides of the site. Next, next, ma'am. So looking into these opportunities which are there on the site, I had a vision of creating a green neighborhood to enhance the interaction of people with the natural environment. So green neighborhood incorporated the provision for pedestrian walkways and built environment in harmony with in harmony with the green environment, and some walkways and bicycle ways, and and including some boulevard street which gives people more opportunity to have a better connection to these open spaces. Next. So I started with utilizing the most prominent element of the site, that is the canal edge. So I started working with the western with the eastern part of the site by creating a boulevard street and a large green open space which incorporated various activity generators like
like a boulevard street, and there are some walking tracks and jogging tracks, and some activity generators like kids play zones, and there are some food kiosks next. Also, some intermediate open spaces are there, which include some flower parks, sculpture parks, and which runs along with the boulevard street next. So this is how the overall master plan looks. Like there are each neighborhood has a different kind of open spaces in between. Next. So this is the zoomed in view of one of the commercial zone, which includes various activity generators like a green and canal is running along the canal with some food kiosks, and some commercial activities like IT parks and offices, cafeterias, fountain park, and the shopping streets, which gives people a more happening place here, which invites people to come here. And next, so this is how the shopping street of this commercial block was imagined, which is having some spaces in between, and some larger space for people to walk around. And this is how the canal edge was imagined, with various activities happening here. Next. So the residential, one of the residential blocks, which includes the mid-rise and high-rise apartments, which has different green neighborhoods in between, like some which includes um, neighborhood gardens and waterfront plazas, and each neighborhood has different kind of their own green open spaces, and this block also includes the major private open space like the flower park. And for creating some activities around these, some neighborhood retails were also proposed. Next. So this is how the retail edge of the of this residential block was imagined, with wider pedestrian walkways and some plazas for people to sit and walk. And this is how the overall township looks from a balcony, like how the open spaces are going to look. Next. Yes, thank you. So this is the overall um, township view, how the density was placed. Like there are more open spaces towards the canal edge. So lower density buildings were placed towards the canal, and as we move towards the western part of the site, the density increases, so that most of the residential blocks or most of the buildings have a larger view of the large green open space running along the canal. Thank you.
Okay, great. So that was about the studio. I will just quickly share with you how you can navigate more the work of the students and the studio in more detail. Sorry. Uh, yes, so you can go to the Sept Winter exhibition website, from where one can select the faculty of planning, within which the program is Masters of Urban Design program. And here all our reports can be viewed in detail to showcase the work that has been done through the semesters. So we invite you to please explore the ideas that the students have been working on and the fantastic work that has been even though it was put together, even though it was an online semester. That's all from our side, Kinjal.
Thank you, Purvi. It was definitely interesting, and thank you all the students who explained their projects. As Purvi has explained, we would definitely want our visitors to look at the exhibition website and take a look at the projects and figure out how they've gone about with their in-depth study, learning and then implementing it in 10 panels is very difficult. So it's been definitely a journey for students and professors and teaching associates and faculty coordinators. Thank you so much, Purvi, once again for your time. Thank you, students. Thank you, viewers.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank you.
bye. Have a good day.